Christmas Eve, December 24th. Whew, feels like it's been a long 24 days. I'm just brewing some Kicking Horse decaf. I don't need the caffeine, I just wanted a hot drink, and I'm using my fun coffee press cozy that I made a few months ago out of some fabric that a friend gave me. It's covered in appliances, printed appliances. It's so fun. It just makes the perfect French press cozy. It's been Wildlife Central around here today. We've been watching the black squirrels go up the dogwood doing all sorts of gymnastics to get to the apples. It's nice because for days I didn't think anything was eating them, and now I noticed that all the ones I put on the forsythia or the lavender have gone, and the birds and the squirrels have been working on the ones out on the front lawn. And we had a long chat with my dad-in-law and two brothers-in-law this morning. Unfortunately, they didn't have their camera on, so we couldn't see them, but they could see us. So that was nice. And while we were talking to them, my husband took the phone out to the deck to show them the squirrels, and a beautiful stag came up the road, just walking so purposefully, like he was showing off. It was great. Good timing. And yeah, there's been crows out on the walnut tree amassing, Alfred Hitchcock style. And it's been nice to see. It's an absolutely gorgeous day today. Started out about -3 this morning, and it's 1 now. Sunny and crisp, which is perfect weather for Christmas. No snow, but that's okay. It'll come later. Mr. Stitches has gone down to the gym. I'm glad he's still feeling like he's got plenty of energy and wants to maintain his fitness. But I told him, don't overdo it and don't hurt yourself. And while he went to the gym, I was making mince pies. I'm using my new cookie cutters that I got from Amazon. It was a set of like 12 different size cookie cutters in a little round tin. And so I made them a bit bigger. So I made sure to use more pastry. My standard pastry recipe is one that I've been making since I was at school. It's half fat to flour. It's basically all you have to remember. When I was at school, we would use, say you used a pound of flour, you'd use half a pound of fat. And the fat was usually half margarine and half of a white fat, which, you know, could have been lard back in the day, but I don't use that now. But now I just use the melt or earth balance sticks. I think the baking sticks are possibly a little bit more firm than the tub margarine. The stuff in the tub, I think, has probably got a higher water content to make it more spreadable. So it is a good idea to use the baking sticks for pastry. So I used 1.5 pounds of flour today, and then 3/4 pound of butter, and a teaspoon of salt, and then just enough water, cold water, to have it all hold together. You don't want to put too much water into pastry because it'll go all hard and tough, and you want it to be melt in your mouth texture. I'm not saying mine is perfect example of pastry, but it tastes good, especially with mincemeat in it. So that made 24 with lids, and I had a teeny bit of the pastry left over and a little bit of the mincemeat from one of the 4-cup jars. And so I did a sort of messy pie thing and put it in a side pan, a little round pan, to bake at the same time as the mince pies. I don't know if if your parents ever baked and had, you know, a little bit of a jam turnover on the side when they were making jam tarts or whatever. Maybe that's a British thing. I don't know. People bake in all cultures, right? But if my mum was making jam tarts and there was a little bit of pastry left over, you could dollop a bit of jam inside that pastry, fold it over, make a little jam turnover, and bake that along with his jam tarts. That way you don't waste the pastry. We have a very relaxed Christmas around here. Just the 5 of us, the 3 kids, and me and Mr. Stitches, which is what I like. If we had more extended family around here, it would be lovely, but we don't. And we're not great partiers. We don't drink. We don't do dancing in nightclubs and things like that. I posted a reel to Facebook last night where I did a little pan of my view from my couch. I have a crochet blanket over my lap. I have my cross stitch on my knee. I have knitting on the coffee table, not the jigsaw puzzle, the Lego advent calendar. And I just did a little scan. And of course, when you put it up to Facebook as a reel, they suggest music for you. I was like, sure, put a bit of music on. And I think the text I put on it was something like, "This is how I like to party," or something like that. So yeah, that was very enjoyable. I had a lovely evening. Well, for a lot of it, I was talking to you and cross-stitching. And of course, you saw maybe 10 or 15 minutes of me sitting there cross-stitching, but what I actually filmed was at least twice that. There's a lot of editing involved behind the scenes, you know. I'm in 2 minds as to whether I should prep some stuff for tonight's dinner. It would make sense while the oven's hot and I'm in the kitchen. It would make sense to make the seitan loaf for tonight's food, and also maybe parboil some potatoes, because when I do roasted potatoes, I always cut them into large chunks and boil them for 10 minutes and then let them cool. I don't always have time to let them cool, but ideally you boil them for 10 minutes, you put them aside, you drain them, put them aside, and that way when you go to roast them, they're really lovely and fluffy inside, and they get lovely and crispy on the outside. Oh, love roast potatoes. Don't eat them too often because they are kind of loaded with calories. But this is calorie time of year. I think instead of Christmas, it should be called pack the calories in time of year. And my mince pies are just about done. That was my 1-minute timer on the oven. So I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea and whip those mince pies out. Mince pies are ready. They're not super brown because I didn't brush them with milk first, which I probably should have done. And then this is the overflow mincemeat and pastry. I knew it was going to bust open because it was overfull. Well, it's late and we had our dinner and we had a little bit of gift giving. One son had gone all out to give us all a gift, which was really nice. We gave the kids their gift cards, and we watched a movie called A Boy Called Christmas. We were just looking at Netflix thinking, what can we watch? And so that came up, and it was like, okay, that'll do. We haven't seen it before, and it looks like it's on the right theme. And when it finished, I realized that I needed to get this done and uploaded. So I now have a fun pair of Hello Kitty socks and also some Kiki's Delivery Service socks. These feel really thick, actually. I think they're going to be really comfortable. Apparently they're a men's size sock, but they look like they'll fit me. And also got some nice pieces of fabric, so that will be fun. And the funny thing is, the one that's got the wiener dogs on it, I'll just grab it. This piece of fabric, I said to my son, how did you know I wanted this one? He said when he went into the fabric store, the manager there said that that's the one I'd been looking at recently, more than once actually. I was thinking of going back in the Boxing Day sale to get some of this. Now I don't have to. I have 1/2 meter of it to play with next year. So that will be the end of day 24. So I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is do one more Vlogmas video tomorrow, and then probably have a few days break. And then what I will then do is go back to doing regular vlogs after that. No promising when that will be. If November's anything to go by, it'll probably be a few days after Christmas Day, because it seems like I can't stop filming and I can't stop making. So I'll say goodnight for now. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas Eve. I hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Good night.